Welcome to the Rice County Historical Society. When we think about September, one of the very first things we think about is the September 7th, 1876 raid on the First National Bank in Northfield by the James Younger Gang. But it's a complicated story that's more than just that one day, so we're going to actually tell it in two parts. But first up is the raid itself. Again, it took place on September 7th, 1876 by the James Younger Gang. First, let me introduce you the cast of characters, as it were. We have Jesse and Frank James here. Jesse is on the left and Frank is on the right. It's a lawyer friend in the middle. And then we have the Younger brothers, Bob, Jim, and Cole Younger. And then we have their three friends, which were Charlie Pitts, William Stiles, and Clell Miller. And if they look battle-weary, they are. As we begin to tell the story about what happened that fateful day, we have a variety of resources to pull from, but the most impactful, the most significant book that we utilize is this one, Robber and Hero. This exact book is actually a reprint of the original. The original was written by George Huntington back in the 1890s. And what's so amazing about this book, or really cool about this book, is that it was written with first-person account. That means that people who actually experienced the raid are told the story or told their experience to Mr. Huntington, who then wove that into the story. What we know is that on September 7th, 1876, the gang began robbing the bank. Now, it didn't happen immediately. They actually had approached town and been in town for a couple of hours scoping it out. But it was about 10 minutes of 2 that different groups of the men took up one of 3 stations. A couple of them went into the bank. A couple of them were right out front of the bank, just lounging casually, really there to prevent anybody from coming in. And 3 men were stationed nearby, and their job was to scare the citizens to go back inside. Within a short period of time, because of the bravery of the men inside the bank that refused to cooperate, it became clear to the gang that they were being discovered, they weren't getting the cooperation, and if they didn't want to die, they better get out of town. What's so remarkable about that story is the Northfield men, perhaps Minnesota nice. They didn't think that they were going to fight back, but we all know that Minnesota nice is just Minnesota hardy and polite. And they may have been polite, but they were also really hardy, and they fought back. And after the raid, or after the gang fled town, there were actually 2 of the robbers that were dead. We had Clell Miller and William Stiles on the bottom of this picture. And then the gang were pursued out of town by the posse. We'll continue this story next time. Rice County Historical Society, preserving the past for future generations.